Shalom, 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 saints. All praises to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of the house of David. Mighty shalom to the Kodashium scattered abroad, right? First, we want to say rest in power to the king, Karatazah Allah, of the house of David, right? His spirit went back to be with the Father, with Abba. The brother had a long battle with cancer. And he was a mighty elder, all of the Hebrew books, the Bible in Hebrew. He was the Hebrew teacher for the house of David and for a lot of the nation. I believe the brother was a Levite, and we have the full Bible in the congregation of SUC because of him.
Hebrew.
From Genesis to Revelations, excluding the Apocrypha, but the rest of the Bible we have in the Paleo Hebrew. the brother is responsible for the term shalom, right? He discovered that term, and the reason that most of Israel is saying shalom is because of this brother. Um, very, very mighty elder. I had the blessings of meeting him a few times. He has had a wonderful spirit, has a wonderful spirit. He's you know giving words of encouragement. Um, he was his classes. He does teach. He has a YouTube page, Diligent Hebrew, where
Con,
he teaches a lot of the language. Still, you can go back and reference those videos. Though the brother is not here with us physically, he's here in spirit, and his teachings will carry on as long as we are tapped into him. Again, very, very powerful brother, very, very sharp elder. Been in this thing since I believe the early 90s. Um, so keep his family in your prayers. Keep the house of David in your prayers. Um, Masharah Yasharallah in your prayers, as well as the nation of Israel, because we lost a special um, prophet, teacher, and leader and pillar in our community. Right? You got some nice.
Man. First and foremost, all praise, glory, and honor goes to the beloved Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Christ ignorantly. Right, we back at it again, man, with another beautiful breakdown through the spirit, right? Dealing with slothfulness, stagnant, and being slackful in this thing. And this is kind of segue through the spirit on the brother's passing or transition rather to be with the Most High, right? It's no time and there's no slackfulness in Israel today, man. We have to make haste, and so that's what this lesson can bring forth as far as how the Most High is sifting out brothers in this thing. He's calling brothers and sisters home, right? It's the clock is ticking. So we have to understand the work of the Father and the work that not only the Father, but the work that He has called us to do. And so if
That's
you've been
right.
called into this thing, if you've been given an understanding, you've been revealed the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you have a job to do, right? And we have to do it to the best of our abilities so that we can get up out of here, man. You
Kind.
know, like we say, man, throw some prayers up for the congregation, right? For Masharai Yasha'Allah, the house of David, their beloved brother, man. Um, we met the brother a couple times at a couple Hebrew summits. He's came out and purchased a couple. He's also had a handbook on Amazon,
That's right.
the Hebrew handbook. Breaking down words, and also has a Hebrew prayers in there too. The Palal Adawan, the Lord's prayers in there. Brother does a mighty job as far as breaking down in Hebrew, and so he did his job while he was here. You got to ask yourself, are you doing your job while you're here right now?
That's right.
And
That's
that's
right.
what we're going, and that's how we're going to rock with this thing going forward into the lesson. If you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe when you come in the building. Throw some sevens in the chat, some shalawams in the chat. Let us know
Kind.
who in the building. It's another Friday Light class. We're gonna be energetic in this thing, and we're gonna magnify the Lord and the Word and the ministry. With that, I yield.
Kind. All praises, man. Eloquently spoken by the brother. As he said, the brother did his job. Again, if you on the scene, you in the room, like, share, subscribe, as well as, drop a shalom bomb, drop some sevens in the chat. Let us know you in here. Shalom, brother Judah.
Come,
Shalom, the real. Shalom, the Kai scribe, right? Shalom, the sister of the Aqua Makara, right? We are, SUC, and again, this is our Friday night class. And we pray that it's edifying through the spirit, man. We pray that you're able to receive it. We pray that it sets well with your spirit, right? We're going to get straight into it, Con.
let's get it.
Con. First precept of the night. Again, this is about being slothful, stagnant, slackful, lackadaisical, if you will, lukewarm, right? It's about that spirit, that energy, that demon that can jump on you and cause you to stray away from the work of the Lord, right? So we're going to get right into it. We're going to open up with Exodus 19 and 8. Exodus 19 and 8. Okay.
All right.
And it reads, I got you, King.
Water.
Actually, I'm gonna start at 7.
You can start at 5, Baba Bashar.
Con, I was gonna say that, but I praise.
Come on, let's get it.
And it reads, now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine,
Mm-hmm.
and you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation.
Come on.
These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Right.
And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him.
Right. So the kingdom comes with stipulations, man. It's not just because you know you're an Israelite. Hey, it's all access. You get an all access pass. You get to get a get out of jail free card, and you get the pass go and collect your $200.
That's
That's
right.
not what this is about, right? Just because you know you're an Israelite doesn't mean that you're gonna get into the kingdom, right? You have to do the work, and so this is the Most High going to Moses and telling him, "Look, hey, I'm gonna make y'all a peculiar treasure unto me, but now it's I got a stipulation that's attached to this thing, right? Let's see what the stipulation was. Go ahead, Art.
And all the people answered together and said, all that Yahweh hath spoken, we will do.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses returned the words of the people unto Yahweh.
Right. So now you're as a world says, a worldly saying, your word is what? Bond.
Con,
Right. So you done told me to tell the Father. I'm speaking as from Moses' perspective. All right, I'm gonna go tell Yahweh that y'all said this. That whatever he said, y'all said y'all was gonna do. You sure? Oh,
right.
all right, cool. I'm gonna go let him know. Right. So that's the premise that the Lord has and the charge that he's holding us to as a nation of people. We have already made a covenant and a pact with him, right? Via our forefathers and our foremothers. So now we are locked into this thing. By default, you gotta do the work. You got something knock? Are you?
And your word should be bond,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether that's in this life or for life, the Most High said that the elders of our nation and our congregation and our nation in general, said these words we will do, these commandments that He's given us, we will do, right? And if you said that, then you have to carry it out, right? Even if your forefathers spoke for you, they still spoke for you.
Con,
So as long as you fall under that covenant, which you of the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you do, ye shall do, right? It's
con,
not it's not up for debate. It's not up for argument's sake. It's not up to go back and forward. Ye shall do it, right? I'm gonna finish this out. All right.
con.
Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto Yahweh.
Con. Right. So the Most High is already. He knows the spirit that we coming in when we come into this truth, right? And we got to put off that old man, as we always say, and we got to acknowledge that this new man has a new job, right? The brother that got a new job, you got new tasks now. You got a new uniform, right? You got a new pay, right? And you got a new retirement plan through the spirit,
Con.
right? It's 144K retirement plan, Lord willing. All right, we're gonna keep it rolling through the spirit. Next precept.
Con is the book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 16. And they answered Joshua, saying, all that thou commanded us, we will do.
Right, it's the same thing, right? After Moses gave up the ghost through the spirit, Joshua came on the scene. He was leading the children of Israel, and they said the same thing, right? Go ahead, Doc.
And whithersoever thou sendest us, we will go.
Right, and that's
According, Salak, go ahead.
and that's another thing that you'll see. What's that? Isaiah 6 and 8, right?
Mhm.
Talking about a word, send me, Lord, and I'll go. Right, that's guys. That has to be the mindset when you come into this truth. It's a
That's right.
lot of brothers and sisters who don't have this knowledge, who the Lord has not revealed this to. How else is this word gonna get pushed out there? Right? You have to do the work. If it wasn't for someone else being obedient and doing their part, how would I wouldn't be here. Same thing for Brother Sham. Same for a lot of brothers in Israel. Speaking to the point of the elder Karatza Allah, right? If he hadn't broke down these scriptures, did his work, a lot of us wouldn't know the Hebrew. A lot of us learned Hebrew 101 from his channel, Diligent Hebrew,
And
right?
it's mighty. Everybody has different gifts, right? Like the brother Karatazar Allah's gift was the Hebrew language, breaking it down so that the nation may have a better understanding. But everybody has different gifts, right? But learning the language is important. And I say that because it gives you a deeper understanding of what the scriptures are actually saying. Um, get that in Ecclesiasticus.
I'm there.
So a lot of people don't acknowledge the importance of understanding the Hebrew. One, it's your language, right? You know what I'm saying? It's your heritage, it's your culture, it's who you are. Two, when you have that deeper understanding of what the scriptures say, or you understand the Hebrew, you can go into the blue letter, if you will, the Strongs, the concordance, different it creates studious habits, right? So it's not just that you'll be able to converse with your brethren in your native tongue, but you'll also be able to have a deeper understanding of what the Most High and the prophets were actually trying to convey to you through the scriptures, right?
Con- it's gonna better you to do your job, right?
Right, right,
Israelite. It's
right.
gonna allow you to further edify more,
hmm
uh, reach other brothers and sisters more on or where other brothers might fall short of.
It's like, for example, this is our profession, right? We are a kingdom of priests, as it says in Exodus 19 and 5 on down, right? Our profession is servants of the Lord. So to make a metaphor in layman's term, um, me and my brother Nasi happen to work in the telecom field. It's like having a job and not reading the methods of procedure, right? You know what I'm saying? Not knowing exactly what you're supposed to do, right?
Con,
Or you speaking Spanish and the methods of procedures being written in English, which you understand, but not if it was written in your native tongue, right? You know what I'm saying? So going back into these scriptures and diving into this uh, blueprint of how we should operate amongst ourselves in the original language it was written in, instead of it being translated into another language, would give you more and a deeper understanding than than if it was transferred to a language to be beneficial to whoever understands this language. But the person that originally wrote it in a language specific to the employee or employees or workers that he was talking to at the time, right? So
con,
if read that Hebrews, bro, so I can put
con.
it.
This is the book of Sirach, right? The prologues of Sirach.
hmm
And it reads, wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention,
Right,
and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of words. So,
mm,
like of some words,
right.
we have labored to interpret.
We have what?
We have labored to interpret.
Right. Go ahead.
For the same things uttered in Hebrew and
Mhm.
translated into another tongue have not the same force in them.
You see that the same things uttered in Hebrew, because the Hebrew is a very direct language, right? And it doesn't have the same force as to when it's translated into the Greek or in English, right? Certain things are conveyed differently in Hebrew than it is in English, right? You have to add transition words to the English to make it make sense. But the Hebrew is a very direct language, right?
Right.
Um,
for instance, just for edification, Salakia, like the commandments, right? It says in the King's English, you see, "Thou shalt not kill."
Mm-hmm.
In the Hebrew, it's no kill. It,
Period.
it's
Right.
period. It's no wiggle room for error or margin of error,
No
right? So,
lie, no God before face. Right,
right,
like it's very very specific. Right, it doesn't leave that, like the brother was alluding to. It doesn't leave wiggle room for different interpretations to slither its way in. Right.
but you do that when you go with this and you don't understand the Hebrew, then you can. If this is the word of the Most High, we're supposed to be doing this thing to the best of our abilities. If
Mm-hmm.
we're doing it in a King's English version, that's beneath the standard of the Hebraic version when it has more force in it. If that makes sense.
Now, granted, if a brother speak English, you can definitely cleave to the scriptures in English and get an understanding. That's not
Con,
what we're saying. We're not saying that, oh, we got the book in English, and if you can't read it all the way through Hebrew, you won't have an understanding. That's not what we're saying. I'm
con,
saying that your understanding can be enhanced if you understand thoroughly the Paleo Hebrew, which it was originally written in, right? You have to
con,
be scholars. You have to study the Bible. It's not just something that you can open and read, but you have to be studious. You have to get into this book, break it down, and make sure that you have a full understanding, right? Now, again, everybody has different gifts. The language may not necessarily be your gift, but if you can, I would encourage you to do so, right?
con,
And I just wanted to go into that based on the beloved brother and his labor and his work that he's done for the nation, to make sure that you understand the works that he's done was imperative, immaculate, and colossal for the nation, right?
con,
The brother has labored and rewritten the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation in Hebrew, in the original Paleo Hebrew. That's amazing. As well as creating workbooks that will help you understand your native tongue, as well as creating a YouTube channel to help you break down phrases and everyday phrases and understanding and speech that will be able to uh, um, revitalize or bring back to life the language of old to the people of old, right? So with that point, I yield. I just wanted you to know and understand how um, important his body of work was to our nation, right?
con, con. This is gonna be the next precept. We're in the book of
No,
Ecclesiastes.
I'm gonna finish this one out. So like
Oh, Salakia, go ahead.
this is Joshua 1:16.
Mm-hmm.
And they answered Joshua, saying, all that thou hast commanded us, we will do. Whithersoever thou sendest us, we will go. According as we hearken unto Moses in all things, so will we hearken unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
Only Yahweh our power be with thee, as he was with Moses.
Con.
Whatsoever he be that doeth rebel against thy commandment, and will not hearken unto thy words, and all that thou commandest him, he shall be put to death.
Mm-hmm.
Only be strong and of good courage.
Right. And you gotta ask yourself, what are some things that you have told the Most High?
Right.
What are some psalms, some alms that you have thrown up to Yahweh saying that, Lord, if you do this for me, I'm gonna do this. What are the things that you have told him? And are you holding fast to these things? Or the Most High will hold this to your charge, right?
That's right.
We're gonna keep it rolling. Ecclesiastes, right, 5 and 4.
Mhm.
Right. Ecclesiastes 5 and 4. I'm here, I'll bring it out. Right. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5 and verse 4. And it reads, when thou vowest a vow unto the Most High,
Right.
defer not to pay it,
Hmm.
for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed.
And we as a nation has made a vow or a covenant or oath with the Father, right? It's in your blood, it's in your lineage, it's in your seed line forever. So we have to make sure that we are doing our best to uphold that oath, uphold those commandments, right? pun intended, make
Con,
sure that we have a good understanding of the covenant that we've entered into, and then we have to keep that vow, right? You don't want to break your vow with man, let alone the Most High God, right?
con.
That's it on
Verse,
that.
right, verse 5. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow
Mm-hmm.
than thou shouldest vow and not pay. Right? And we say that all the time. It's better for you to not have known the knowledge of the truth than to know and not do it. It's a
Right.
right? Because once you know, there's no ignorance is no excuse of the law. Right? It still applies to you whether you know it or not. Right? These commandments still apply to you, you other Israelites who are out there who don't know you Israel. It still applies to you even though you don't know you're Israelite. Right? That means you still got work to do in commandments. Right? I'm gonna yield right there. That's
Mm.
Ecclesiastes 4, Salaki 5 and 4 through
Wonderful.
5.
Right. The next precept is going to be Hebrews chapter 6, and I'm going to start at 9, and I'll be reading through 12.
Kind.
Hebrews 6 and 9, reading through 12. And it reads, But beloved, we are persuaded better things of you, and things that accompany salvation, though we thus speak. For Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love.
Right? So you can't be slothful, you can't be slack, and you can't be stagnant. Right? Read on.
And the Most High, He ain't gonna forget you, right? A lot of people feel like a lot of the work that people do or things that you sacrifice for the kingdom is in vain because it's not rewarded on this side, because the Most High doesn't give you what you ask for expediently, or because He doesn't um 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 give you your wants, even though He's providing everything that you need, right? I'm gonna finish this out. It says, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. Right? When you going out in the highways and byways, or when you being a messenger of the Most High God, spreading His word, His gospel, when you're doing that, the Most High sees that, right? You're ministering unto the saints, whether that be through speech, whether that be through deed, right? Whether that be through charity, alms, whichever form of ministry that you have, the Most High sees you ministering unto His saints, and He's not slack to forget that.
Kind. And Salaki, in 1 Corinthians 12, the 12th chapter, right, it talks about the body, right?
Right, that's right.
And I don't want to butcher the text, but it talks about if the eye does all the seeing, what use does it have for the hands and all the other members? Roughly paraphrasing, right? But
Right,
we saying this in a sense, like the brothers alluding to, everybody has a different office, everybody has a different part in this thing. Your little is a lot. It's
right.
so little, but your little is a lot to somebody who don't have. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about an understanding on an understanding level.
Mm-hmm.
You might feel like I'm a baby. You might feel like you don't know all the precepts. You might feel like you don't know how to break down all the deep dark things. But knowing that you're Israel and you doing the best of your ability to keep the commandments and you being diligent, as it's saying in Hebrews, being diligent, then that little can become a lot. Right? You gotta be a good steward of what you've been given, man. And we gotta understand that we can't take this work lightly, this
Mm-hmm.
labor lightly. This is a lot of brothers who have labored in this thing and fell out. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be that brother or that sister. It's a lot of brothers who have labored until death into this thing. Right? That's the type of name you want to leave behind. Right? When you look, man, that brother, man, he held fast regardless. Like so far, man, this past couple months, man, we lost two beloved brothers, man. And we can say honestly that them brothers held fast to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. They did their job to the best of their abilities. The
That's right.
Most High looked down upon them and say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant."
That's right.
All right, I yield on that, Salakia.
Con. Picking up at verse 11, Hebrews 6 and 11. And we desire that every one of you do shew the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end.
Right. So
Like
like
it was
it's,
just
it's about to get real good up in this thing, man.
uh,
Hey, you should want to be around nobody that don't want to do the work, man.
mm.
That can be vexation of your spirit. You can't
You
be
shouldn't be the one that people don't want to be around because you're not doing the work, right? You shouldn't want to be that person, right? And here the scripture saying, like the brother just alluded to, it says, "We desire that every one of you shew the same diligence," right? Like it's we speaking highly of these brothers, rightfully so, right? These brothers have done a mighty work, and brothers have been diligent and walking, being examples, whether it's for the a nation or a small family or community. Brothers standing upright for the word of the Lord is mighty, and we desire that you have that same diligence, right? There's no respective person with the Most High God, of course, but at the same time, while we are all here on this side, we make sure, or we try our best to make sure that we prophesy to as many people as they can so they can understand the importance of being an example for the next Hebrew or Israelite that doesn't have an understanding, right? It's very important, right? You like you hung some, all right?
Yeah, the brother came through with a precept, Matthew 25, and caught a scribe on the scene, right? He said he
We going into that. I don't even know what he got. I don't know what he got. I don't know what he
I'm gonna
got.
go ahead and pull this real quick for the brother, the water. This is Matthew 25, right? And I'm gonna just start at 23, right? It's just talking about the good servant.
We going go ahead, King.
Hey,
Go
the
ahead.
brother, how you in the
Brother in
spirit?
the spirit, though, right?
Right. We're gonna double back again, but it says this is Matthew 25 and 23. His
Mm-hmm.
Lord said unto him, "Well done, good and faithful servant.
That's right.
Faithful over a few things, I will make thee ruler over many things.
Mm-hmm.
Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord."
And see, it's good that we understand that again, bro. This is our profession. This is what we were born to do. This is our lot, right? You may be a truck driver. You may work in the warehouse. You know what I'm saying? You might work at a call center. You might work in a nursing home. You might, have different occupation. Those are your occupations. Those are things that occupy your time, right? But your profession
Come on, now.
is a servant of the Lord,
Right.
a
Pre-
son of the living God, a daughter of Zion. This is what we were actually born to do, right? You know what I'm saying? These are the things that we have to remember when we're in this world, because all these other different titles that we put on this worldly plane is not your profession. It's not who you were. It's a part of who you are. It's not who you are.
time.
You are
Especially
royalty, right? A nation of kings and priests,
time.
princes and princesses of a higher power. And we have to understand that when we moving in this world, these other things, they come with time restraints, right? You are for me, for example, I'm an engineer as long as I'm clocked in at my occupation, right? You know what I'm saying? But whether I'm at my occupation or I'm with my family or I'm out in the streets, in the highways and byways, or moving and grooving throughout the world, I'm a son of the Most High, regardless, wherever I am. You know what I'm saying? And it's commanded of me to shine my light before man, that the Father may be glorified in heaven. Right? Go ahead. All right.
And just something funny, man. I was dealing with a pastor way back in the day, and it was when I came into the truth, and we had some like a sit down
Mhm.
debate, if you will, or
I
dialogue,
remember that. Go ahead. I'm with you.
right? And when we were speaking on this, and the brother was like, he was going in, and things of that nature. And later on, I found out the brother retired from being a pastor. He retired from being a pastor, and that's what the brother is alluding to. You can retire from being an engineer, right?
Hmm.
A blacksmith, basketball player, or if you can retire from occupations, But being a servant of the Most High God, you cannot retire. This is for life, man.
Unless you give up the ghost.
Con.
Right?
And you still have reasonable services, Lord willing, on the other side, man. You still gonna be doing bids for the Most High. But this is Romans 12, right? Romans 12 and 1, right? It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice,
Nice.
wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service.
Right. Right.
This is your reasonable service. Every day, putting yourself last, right? Every day, being a conduit for the Most High God and allowing His grace, His mercy, His truth, His light to shine through you, regardless of how you feel that day, regardless of what accusations might be thrown at you, regardless of anything, right? This is your reasonable service to serve the Most High, right? That's it. That's all. Paul.
You got to ask yourself in those times, right? And I want to get back to the breakdown. I ain't gonna keep going in, but you got to ask yourself in those times where you feel, however you may feel, contrary to doing the work of the Lord. What's more important, your feelings or the work that the Father is distributing through his children, right? His will be done or your feelings be fulfilled, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make sure that you are constantly in the spirit of 2 Corinthians 13 and 5, right? And you're not allowing your own flesh to be the burden and the stumbling block that's keeping you outside of doing the work of the Lord.
And I know I'm not speaking for myself, but I know brothers that do push this truth in this word. If it wasn't for this, if I had the opportunity to just chill in my flesh all day, I wouldn't do nothing, man. I would be carnal, burp, eat, and fart, and watch Netflix all day. But it's a lot of work that we got to do, man, in this truth, right? And that's just
the labor. I'm paraphrasing. The labor is much, but the laborers are not many.
Kind of harvest plenty.
The harvest is plenty, right? So it's a lot of works to be done, but it's not a lot of people putting their brick in, right? Trying to really rebuild this kingdom. Yeah, they know they're Israelites. They understand the inheritance and they get it, but they're not diligent about doing the work, right? And any work that's done to benefit the kingdom is a mighty work, regardless of the popularity, the numbers, the views. The angels in heaven are rejoicing with each one person that you meet, that you greet, that you awaken, right? You know what I'm saying? The word has to go out, and we have to be okay and satisfied with the results, because it's all about the Father getting the glory, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to in the end. But y'all gotta bear with us, man and brother. We can be long-winded, right? But we're gonna jump back into the breakdown through the spirit. Reading verse 11 again. And we desire, Hebrews 6 and 11, and we desire that every one of you do shew the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that you be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. Right? So through faith and patience, long suffering and enduring until the end, that's how you inherit the promises, by keeping the faith in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach and proving your faith by your works, by keeping the commandments of the Most High God. Right.
Next precept, right, it's going to be in the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and 19. Proverbs 15 and 19. It says, the way of the slothful man is as an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain.
You see that? The way of the slothful man is like a hedge of thorns, right? Right? It's like trying to get somewhere, but you going through a damn prickly bush, getting pricked as you go about. That's a slothful man. Everything's grievous unto him, right? But the way of the righteous is made plain upon tables.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. It's a worldly saying. It's called beating around the bush. Hey, get to point, man. Do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the point, right? Picking back up the verse, Salakia, verse 20. A wise son maketh a glad father,
You see
but
that? Go ahead.
but a foolish man despiseth his mother.
Right. So it says another one in Proverbs. It says, uh, uh, despise not the law of your father and forsake not the commandments of your mother. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but we know and understand that having righteous foremothers and forefathers or ancestors, or looking to the generations of old, will give you the blueprint that you need to actually fulfill the work of the Father, right? You know what I'm saying? Con, brother, brother Nakai say fart, burp, and takes real and tea. You should die, right? But doing the work of the Father, right? Or looking at the generations of old, or show you how to conduct in these times, right? You know what I'm saying? So the more you cleave unto scripture and ancestors and righteous examples, right, will be easier for you to display and recreate those actions, right, that you've seen aforetime, right? Because the same issues are gonna come up. The scriptures cover all things, right? But you're gonna handle it through your flesh, or you're gonna handle it through the spirit, right? Go ahead, Axelot.
Verse picking back up at verse 21 in Proverbs, right? Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walketh uprightly.
See, the sluggard, a lot of things can tickle his fancy, a lot of things can distract him, a lot of things can cause him to go off, right? You know what I'm saying? Anything that is worldly or fleshly, carnal, can cause him to stumble, right? It can cause him to stray away from doing the work of the Lord, right? You know what I'm saying? But a man that understands the true inheritance, the kingdom of God, and the profession of a servant of the Most High, is going to move with uprightness and understand that, hey, this is a mighty work and it has to be done. If not me, then who? Right?
Con,
Go ahead.
right? Verse 22. Without counsel, purpose, so like your purposes are disappointed,
Mm-hmm.
but multitude of counselors they are established.
You see that? A multitude of counselors can come directly from the scriptures, right? You having different problems. The scriptures cover all things, and you can look to your ancestry to fulfill the things that you're going through because they went through it too, right?
For example, right? Next precept is going to be in the book of Psalms, chapter 119. But for
All right,
example,
go
right?
ahead.
We got to look like the scriptures tell you in Sirach, the second chapter, man. Look on the men of old and see. It tells you in the book of Hebrews about the hall of faith, if you will,
Right.
the forefathers and how they really got down, and our foremothers.
Chapter 11.
Con, right? So when you go into the scriptures, you got to see yourself in these things. David was a mighty brother in this thing, right? Solomon was going hard for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Abraham, Isaac, all these brothers had a zeal about them. You gotta have that. You gotta. If you don't have a zeal, and you gotta take that up with the Heavenly Father, pray that He can give you a discernment on how to continue to light that fire, man, and
Mm.
keep it lit, because it's getting dark out here, man. It's getting dark. Psalms 119 and 1.
It was the book Psalms, the book of Psalms, chapter 119. We're gonna read 1 through 6 and then jump to 60. Nakai. Psalms 119, verses 1 through 6, and then we'll jump to verse 60. And it reads, Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed are they that keep his testimonies, and that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity. They walk in his ways.
Come on.
Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments.
Right. So these commandments and these statutes They come with effort, man. You gotta put forth something. When he's telling you in Romans 12 that you make a sacrifice, you really gotta put forth something. Right? It's always, you just can't come to the Most High and just always expecting Him to do. You got to meet Him halfway, man. We got to be willing to be like Isaac, man, through the Spirit, right? Or Abraham, Salakia, and willing to go to the fullest extent, right? I'm gonna at verse 60. You got it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna start at 57 though.
Go ahead, King.
It says, "Thou art my portion, O Yahweh. I have said that I would keep thy words. I entreated thy favor with my whole heart.
Mm-hmm.
Be merciful unto me according to thy word. I thought on my ways and turned my feet unto thy testimonies. I made haste.
I made what?
I made haste.
Right. So the opposite of being slothful, lazy, lackadaisical, procrastinating, slackness is hastefulness, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hurry. What's the other one? Quicken.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The Spirit quicken it. When you find that you're an Israelite and you got laws, statutes, and commandments that you need to be keeping that you weren't keeping, that you thought you were keeping before, you got to be quickened in this thing, man.
Hey, through the Spirit though, Salaki, let me back on your point. You should see some of the faces of the Hebrews we talk to on the street. When we ask them how many commandments it is, they say 10, and then we say, oh, it's 613. I got some work to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's 613 and they told me it was 10, I gotta figure out some things. I have to been breaking some. Mandatory, you know what I'm saying?
Like we said, man, ignorance is no excuse of the law. Just because we say it's 613 and you found out it was you thought it was only 10. Hey, it's 603 that if you've been keeping them 10, it's 603 that I know for sure you've been following.
Good. You know what I'm saying? Good. Right? We got to turn back, man. Right? I'm picking up at verse 60. I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments.
Mm-hmm.
The bands of the wicked have robbed me, but I have not forgotten thy law.
All right. Right. So it's about making haste in this thing, man. We got to make haste. Right. We got other brothers and sisters looking to you, right, to do the work, to be an example, to be a light into them. Right. You got to do your part. Luke 9:62. Rolling. Right. Luke chapter 9 and verse 62.
Now, you know you got to read through chapter 10 for a little bit.
Come. Luke 9:62, we're going to get it. It says, and Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom.
You see that? And you see the brother beautiful garment he got on, right? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Few Chosen Apparel, yeah, right? But you know, once you start doing the work of the Father, what excuse could you possibly have for turning back? There's nothing here on this earth that can benefit you the way that doing the work of this Father can. And you may not see it because the Most High is not carnal, right? The blessings and the things that the heathen or this world can offer you is visual, it's tangible, right? So he can overthrow your judgment and your spirit. But the Most High is not slack to forget your work, as we brought out in Hebrews 6 and 10. And it's his heart desire to give, it's his good pleasure to give you your heart's desire, right? He wants to give you the kingdom, but it comes with stipulations and it comes with work that you have to do. You cannot get slackful in this thing. You cannot get slothful. You cannot get lukewarm, regardless of anybody, right? If these persons or individual are keeping you from keeping the commandments, you need to think about who you are amongst, right? And make the proper decisions to make sure that you're doing the best that you can to fulfill the work of the Father, right?
Luke 9:62. And Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit in the kingdom of the Most High.
And the Most High say, you're not fit to be in my kingdom.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, King.
Right. After these things, this is chapter 10, verse 1 in Luke. After these things, the Most High appointed others 70 also and sent them two and two before his face into every city and
Mm-hmm.
whither he himself would come.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great,
The
but
what?
the harvest is truly great.
Man, it's a lot of Israelites out here that don't know who they are. It's a
Uh,
lot. It's we scattered in the four corners of the earth, right? But you can go outside your house, you can open your door and see Israelites that think they American, that think they black, that think they African American, that think they Cuban, that think they Mexican, that think they Dominican, that think they whatever, right? Everything but Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Manasseh, Naphtali, an Israelite, right? Children of the Most High God, everything but that. So if they still out here like that, we got a mighty works to do. Go ahead, King.
the harvest is true. The harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few.
Mm-hmm.
Pray therefore the Most High of the harvest that he would send forth laborers into the harvest.
So even amongst your prayers, you should be praying that the Most High send more servants. He sends more prophets. He sends more teachers, right? He sends more leaders. He sends more men to gird up the men that don't know they're Israelites. He sends more diligent sisters to build up these sisters, right? He sends more prophets to rebuke the wicked into righteousness. He sends more sisters to be an example of what a daughter of Zion looks like. That's what we should be praying for, not for vanity, not for vain things. A lot of people pray for what they want. The Most High, if you could just do this, if you could, but what about what the Most High requires,
Uh,
right? A lot of people pray for something that the Most High can do for them, but what about what we're supposed to be doing for the Most High?
we was
What
at
if people are awakened unto that, right? Go ahead.
cause like we was at camp. I think that was E was talking. He was like, "Hey man, sometimes I pray." Brother Eli, shout out to Brother Eli. He said, "Sometimes I pray. I wake up, I pray to the Most High. I ask him how he doing today. Hey y'all,
Come,
how you doing?
come.
Man? It's me,
That's a humble prayer.
cuz."
How you doing up there, big guy? You know what I'm saying? They still worshiping you. They getting down up there. I'll praise you, man. You worthy of it. I wish I could, do more with this.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But that's mighty, right? Because it's hey man, you gotta humble yourself. Jake had the tendency of getting pride beyond his measure,
cuz,
prideful beyond his measure, right? And it's just unbelievable how we converse with the Most High, myself included. I'm not above it. You know what I'm
cuz,
saying? Like we all are in the flip, but we got to do better about seeing those infirmities in ourselves and correcting ourselves, right?
cuz. Next precept is going to be in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, and verse 4.
I'm already there. And it
Okay.
reads the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, and verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold.
Mm,
Right? It's too cold. Hey man, it's hot out there. Oh, I got this, or whatever reason. The sluggard is always going to have a reason not to do the work of the Lord. It's always going to be something. Oh, I had to go to work. Oh, I'm tired from work. Oh, I got my kids. Oh, this is my only off day. Oh, I just XYZ, whatever the case may be. A
cuz,
sluggard is always going to find an excuse to slug, right? It says, therefore, shall he beg in the harvest
mm,
and have nothing. And that's spiritual, right?
mm,
You can't get into this kingdom by another brother coattail, by another brother's understanding. You got to dive into this thing for yourself, right?
mm.
So in that spiritual harvest, and when the Most High sends his angels to ask you, what works have you done to benefit the kingdom? How are you getting providing for my let me get I want to say this Luke 21 and 19. Let me get that real quick.
The book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 19, and it reads,
Let me be efficient when I say that. That's not what I want. I think it's John 21.
This is John 21 and 19.
It's a lot. Let me be efficient. All right. John 21. So like this is John 21 and 15.
So when this is John 21 and 15. So when they had dined, Yahushua said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas,
Mm-hmm.
lovest thou me more than these?
Mm-hmm.
Unto him, yea, Lord, yea, Adawan, thou knowest that I love thee. He
Mm-hmm.
said to him, my lambs,
He said what?
feed my lambs.
So if you love the Most High, you're supposed to be feeding the sheep. Period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, right? Keep reading.
Verse 16, he said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?
He
He,
say, "Do you love me? Do you love me the way you say you do?" Right? Read.
he said unto him, yea, Lord, yea, Adawan, thou knowest that I love thee.
He say, "You already know I love you. You know I love you." Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
He said unto him, feed my sheep,
What he say?
feed my sheep.
Do the work. I don't want to hear literature. I don't want to hear about how you love the Most High and you keeping the commandments. I don't want to see your garment. I don't care about your head wrap, brother. I don't care about your beard.
Mhm.
Feed my sheep. Do the work. Read.
He said unto him the third time,
How
Simon,
many times?
the third time.
Because Jake don't like to listen. I gotta tell you 3 times so you'll understand that I don't care about the carnality. Do the work, bro. Read.
He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?
Mm-hmm.
Peter was grieved.
He was cut. Like, man, why you keep asking me? Because you still not doing the work.
Uh,
Now, I'm not saying that Peter wasn't doing the work. I'm saying that the Most High will continue to show you how you can improve upon your ministry, whatever your ministry may be. The Most High will show you where you're at error, where you're at fault, right? And until you do what He's telling you to do, a lot of things will go awry for you, right? Go ahead, King.
Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he
Mm-hmm.
said to him, Lord, Adawan, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahweh said unto him, feed my sheep.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Verse 18, verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself and walkest, so like you, and walkest whither thou wouldest.
See, when you was young, you was going about your way, not really having a good understanding. You was being tossed to and fro. Read.
But when thou shalt be old,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt stretch forth thy hand,
Mm-hmm.
others shall gird thee, and
Mm-hmm.
whither thou wouldest not.
You see that? But when you are old, another shout, you shall stretch forth your hands to the Father, and the Spirit is gonna carry you. The Spirit is gonna tell you which way to go and what to do. When we out here prophesying, bro, we never know who gonna walk up, who gonna build with us, who gonna talk to us, who the Most High gonna send our way. Sometimes we prophesy to the wind. We might talk to one or two brothers, but if one of them receive it that day, that's who it was for. Those hours of laboring, that's who it was for, because it's the Most High wills be done, not our own. And we know and understand He don't want everybody. It's not about you knowing you're an Israelite. It's about doing the work that the Most High has put forward for us. I yield, Oxalot.
All praises, man. That was a beautiful precept. That was in the book of St. John 21 and verse 15, right? In the book, Proverbs 26 and verse 13. Proverbs 26 chapter and verse 13.
It's
And
the
it
book
reads,
of Proverbs. I got you. All right. Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 13. I'll read through 17. It says, "The slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets." Right.
right.
Go ahead.
Slava, man, hey, shit, it's a line out there. Shit. I'm gonna stay my ass inside. Right, a slothful man, he not gonna want to do the work. Hey, somebody else go tame that thing. I'm not dealing with it. A slothful man want to do what he feels in his heart that he want to do what he want to do. right? Slothfulness is going to get you jammed up and it's going to get you thrust through, man, in these last days,
Or
right?
in other words, hey man, them young lions, them boys out there crazy, man. You finna go out there and prophesy to them. Hey man, I ain't, I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you do it. I'm gonna just nah, bro. Yes, we gonna go prophesy to them through the spirit. Yeah, we gonna do it. Right.
Con,
The
go ahead.
slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way, a lion is in the street. As the door turneth upon his hinges, so doeth the slothful upon his bed.
Right, and that's big because a slothful man, hey, it's just like a dead. He going back and forth in this thing, tossing and turning, don't want to get up, right?
Trying
Uh,
to find rest, but this is not his place of rest.
kind of he just laying there. You know, you got to get up. You know what I'm saying? Get the word in you. You chilling, check my Facebook, email real quick. You know, just slothful, man. Well, you got to get up, man, and set the tone for the day. You got to get up and set the premise, the spiritual table, and put that spiritual bread on there so you can eat and have the milk and get you some of that spiritual milk
Kind.
so that you can be ready and built up, for the rest and the remainder of the day, man. This is spiritual breakfast. You got to make sure that you eat, man.
That's right.
I yield. Go ahead.
Verse 15. The slothful hideth his hand in his bosom.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, I ain't, I can't, my hands is tied, boss. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Hey, I got this going. I got that. Hey, but the scripture says to not meddle in many manners.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to be available for the work of Lord, if not nothing else, right? It says the slothful man hideth his hand in his bosoms, making excuses. Something always come up last minute. It grieveth him to bring it again to his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit
Mm-hmm.
with 7 men that can render a reason.
Right. He always got an excuse to backpedal, right? And then when he get questioned on it, he is skillful in taking you around the horn, if you will, on why he not doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers and sisters are real skillful in that thing.
That's
When
right.
when you kind of holding them to a charge, well, see what happened was the Lord's not trying to hear about that, man. He not trying to hear about when it's cold outside and how you got the month of May. He
Hey,
not He's
come
not
on.
trying to hear that.
Yahweh said, he that loves mother, or brother, or son, or daughter, or father more than me is not worthy of me. So if any of those excuses, those would be, I would think those are some of the top reasons that a person should not do the work. Hey, I might my family, hey, my mama, my wife, hey, my kids got. Hey, the most I said, if you now you got to use wisdom. I'm not saying your son broke his leg. Hey man, you got to wait till after camp. No, brother, take your son to the hospital to get see about his leg, right? You know what I'm saying? But if we talking like minuscule, hey man, my son didn't want to, or my daughter had a, or my mama called me and, or my father said that he wanted me to come watch the game with him, brother. You know what I'm saying? Tell your pops to record it on DVR. You know what I'm saying? And you pull up to your pops after camp and spend quality time with your pops.
Uh-huh.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Make sacrifices for the kingdom of the most high, right?
Con, all praises, right? Next precept through the Spirit, right? Second Thessalonians chapter 3 and verse 10. Second Thessalonians 3 and 10. We're going to
Mhm.
rapid fire these things through the Spirit, Lord willing. Second Thessalonians 3 and 10. It says, for even when we were with you, this we commanded you,
Mhm.
that if any would not work, neither should he eat.
You see that? If
That's
you
on the.
don't do the work of the Father,
Uh-huh.
how can you digest the spiritual bread?
Uh-huh.
How can you have the understanding that comes with these scriptures? How can you build yourself up spiritually if you're not doing the work of the Lord? Right? Go ahead. You got something?
Con. Alley from the Kai the Scribe, 5 and 15. It says, See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise,
Mm-hmm.
redeeming the time, because the days are evil.
You see that? We got to redeem the time because it's a lot of evil things that can distract you, that can cause you to go away from the will and the work of the Father. It's so many things that set up here for distractions, and they're literally just distractions, right? Anything to keep you from fulfilling your position as a servant of the Most High God. And when
Con,
you're not doing that, the devil is rejoicing. The enemy is rejoicing, right? Go ahead.
next precept. That was it on 2 Thessalonians 3:10. We went to
I'm
Ephesians.
there. I'm at Proverbs 19:24. You can grab the next
Con. Go ahead, Art.
one. The book of Proverbs, chapter 19 and verse 24. Proverbs 19 and 24. And it reads, a slothful man hideth his hand in his bosom,
Mm-hmm.
and will not so much as bring it to his mouth.
See that? He don't got nothing to say, man. He trying to hide his hand because you see that your hand, you hiding your hand because they're not doing no work, man. Hey, you want to look at the brother? Hey, check these calluses out, man. The brother laboring, he got a mighty work, man. Brother got calluses, right? Busted up knuckles, right?
Mhm.
Paper cuts, thumbing through these scriptures, right? You wanna be that on fire for the Lord, man. All right. We want to keep it rolling, right? Next precept is the book of Proverbs.
18 and verse 9. Proverbs 18 and 9. It was the same page on there. All right. It says, he also that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster.
Is a what?
A great waster.
Right. That's what time,
Hmm.
finances, energy, sleep, all aspects. You want to again be a good steward to what you've been given. You don't want to be around someone who is just a waster or someone who just wants to consume all the time and not put in.
Because in it, essentially, you know, the most high chopping heads, right? You know what I'm saying? 2/3 of us not gonna make it, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's a scripture that says, it's a weapon of mass destruction that is referenced as the great waster, right? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these vessels are going to be fit for those for that destruction, right? If the Most High can't use you, what good are you here for? Now he can save you to that day of judgment, or he can take you out whenever he wants to. We know Psalms 115 and 3 said the Most High is in heaven and he does whatever he wants, right? So if you're not doing what's pleasing to the Lord, he can take you out, right? Whether he preserve you for that day or whether he choose a designated day for you to be taken out, right? The
God,
Most High is great and terrible, right?
that's right. Got a precept in the book of Sirach, chapter 22, right?
Go ahead, read through 5, 1 through 5.
Sirach 22 in the Apocrypha, chapter 22, verse 1. A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone,
Mm,
and everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace.
right?
A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill.
And you can't hide your works or your lack thereof,
Fine.
right? You know what I'm saying? Eventually, bro, those things are gonna be made manifest,
Mhm.
right? And the disdain is gonna spring forward, right? Go ahead. You
Every
can't
man that
mask it either with um different you can't mask it with fake work or go ahead, King.
in this case, right? For example, right, it's talking about the filth of a dunghill. It don't matter what kind of spray you spray,
That's
Febreze, Fabuloso in the skillet. It don't matter, man. It's gonna stink to high heaven. You can't cover it up.
that's right.
Your works are gonna be made manifest, right? It says, every man that takes it up will shake his hand.
You on that dunghill, man. You gonna shake
Yeah,
shake
man.
the head, man.
Is that you? Yeah.
Bruh.
Right. Verse 3. An evil nurtured son is the
What?
an evil nurtured son.
Right? One that hasn't been conditioned to do the work.
Uh-huh.
Right. Go ahead.
It's the dishonor of his father that begat him, and
Right.
foolish daughter is born to his loss.
You see that? All these children going astray from the Most High God, they basically an abomination to him. You misrepresenting his name, and that comes with judgment.
Con.
Right? Go ahead. All right.
For a wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband,
Mm-hmm.
but she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness.
You see that?
She
It's a sad thing when the Most High looks on the daughter of Zion, not conducting herself as a daughter of Zion. It's a sad thing when the Most High see a king in the earth acting as a peasant. Right? Go ahead.
con Salaki, verse 5. She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband, but
Mm,
they both shall despise her.
you
Right?
see that?
And we talking about a mighty labor amongst the brothers. We talking about prophesying, hitting the highways and the byways, doing the work and magnifying the ministry that way. But also the Aqua and the Aquatium, they have jobs and things that they do, keepers of the home, right? Teaching the children, raising them up in the admonishing of the Lord, things of that nature. So they have a mighty work too as well that they are called to be doing too, right?
And
And
it's bro, being shamefaced, soft-spoken, and uplifting at the same time is extremely hard for our sisters.
con,
That's hard, especially when the world has conditioned you to be opposite, right?
con,
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, sister, you have a mighty work to do in this kingdom.
con,
It's very powerful that you understand how prominent your position is. If we didn't need you as Adam, why would the Most High gifted us Eve? We need y'all. And we need y'all to understand your position. A help meet, right? Not the meat, but similar to the potatoes.
con.
A help meet, right? You know what I'm saying? We don't have support in this world. We need y'all to be that support and be okay with being the support for the man. Whether it be your husband, your father, your brother, your friend, your a fellow prophet, somebody you don't know, just a man of the Lord and putting in the work of the kingdom of God. Exalt that brother, because there's not a lot of brothers out here that's willing to put their hand to this plow, right? So like, all right,
Next precept, we're going to keep it rolling, right? Through the spirit. Proverbs. Back in the Proverbs. A lot of Proverbs precepts. Why? Because it's wisdom.
right.
Proverbs 10 and 4. Proverbs 10 and 4, and it reads thus. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand. Right? If you want to continue to be slackful and slothful, and you want to continue to not do the work, you're going to end up poor, man. I.e., hence the kingdom, right? You want to continue to not do the work, and you're not going to get that 144K retirement plan
That's right.
that we're talking about, right? So if you continue on and practice that, that's going to be the cause to that effect. I'm going to pick back up. He becometh poor to that dealeth with it with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the scriptures tell you in Matthew 6 and 33 on down, seek ye first the kingdom of the heaven of the most high, and all these works shall be added unto you. You
All right.
seek first, the Lord said he's gonna be a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. It tells
Mm-hmm.
you that in the book of Hebrews 2 as well. So you gotta be diligent in this thing, resilient, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a powerful word you just said there.
You gotta be resilient in this thing, man.
That's right.
Right? And some days are gonna be better than others. In Israel, we want to let y'all know, hey, don't be too hard on yourself. You might stub your toe on a spiritual level, but you gotta shake off the dust and you gotta keep going, man.
That's right.
I yield on that. That's Proverbs 10, and that was 4, right? Talking about the hand that dealeth with a slack hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna keep it
Precept of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17 through 23. This is Colossians chapter 3, verse 17 through 23. And it reads, and whatsoever you do in work or deed,
in what?
in work or deed, do all in the name of the Adawan Yahushai.
Mm.
giving thanks to Yahweh and Abba by him.
Go ahead, Ak, you got it.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as it fit in the Adawan. Husbands, love your wives. Be not bitter against them. And that's mighty too, because as a sister is supposed to submit, you got to give us something to submit to, right? You know what I'm saying? And it says, love your wives. How do you love your wife? You love her according to the commandments. You have to keep the commandments. You have to keep your portion of the inheritance, right? The Most High has gifted you a rib. You have to love her if you would love yourself. Picking up at verse 20. Children, obey your parents in all things. Now, children have their lot in this too. They have to obey their parents, as well as we, being children of the Most High, have to obey our Father, right? We are as little children as well. Same with this. The way that they have to worship and obey us, we have to do the same thing with the Father, and ultimately they do too, right? In all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Adawan.
Right, because that's what it's about, pleasing the Heavenly Father, right? Understanding your job, doing it, and that's why I say, that's why it says in 1 John 5, hey, that his commandments are not grievous. The Most High don't want you to feel like, are we prisoners of Yahweh Shai Khan? But we love to do the work, man. We love to be prisoners. I don't. You shouldn't feel like, hey, they cook some pork chops, man. I got to hold fast to Leviticus the 11th chapter dealing with the diet.
Right.
Oh, you
You
shouldn't. You
toss the
should,
damn frying pan outside. That's what
right.
you do. And
You
that's cool.
right. You shouldn't be vexed when you are being put in a position to uphold and the statutes and the law. Right. These things. It should be exciting to you to know that something has presented itself via the Most High strategically place something in front of you, and He gonna try you right now to see if you're gonna turn to the left or you're gonna turn to the right.
The Most High is giving you an opportunity to shine,
Kind,
right? Because these commandments are what? Not grievous. It's not gonna break your back to not eat that pork chop. It's not gonna break your back to not buy and sell on the Sabbath. Brothers, it's not gonna break your back to not cut your beard off. These are things that we really can control. So control them.
kind,
Finishing this out, verse 21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. And we got to be mindful of that too. As leaders, we have to lead in righteousness. We
kind.
got to make sure that we're understanding our children and that we're doing the best to provide the proper examples, outlets, and information that they need to not only be educated and be and house knowledge, but know how to apply it as well, right? In different scenarios and circumstances, right? You got somebody?
Well, it's a word that world is. The hardest hood that I grew up in is the fatherhood, man.
Man,
That's a hard hood to try to come up in, and to try to when the world don't teach you how to be a father.
right, right, right.
We're talking about with Jake, right? It don't teach us how to be fathers, but the scriptures do. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we have to lean on these things so that we can see the works of righteous fathers and how to be that to our children, right? On a righteous level. Man, I yield on that though. I'll go ahead.
Con, verse 22. Servants, obey in all things your master according to the flesh,
Mhm.
not with eye service and as man pleasers, but in singleness of heart, fearing Yahweh, right? So
Con,
you're supposed to you got to keep in mind that anything or any portion that falls upon you is of the will of the Lord, right? You know what I'm saying?
that's
And we
right.
have to understand that these different situations that we find ourselves in is for our development spiritually, right? You know what I'm saying? So we have to keep that in mind with anything that we may face, and with all things we do it with gladness of heart, knowing that the Most High has put us in this position to shine, right? I'm gonna finish this out. I know you hunting something. I seen you flipping.
Go
Right.
ahead.
It says, and whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Adawan, and not unto man, knowing that our Lord, Salakia, knowing that the Lord, the Adawan, Yahweh Shai, ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Adawan, Yahweh Shai. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. And there is no respect of persons.
Con, right? You can't get into the kingdom on someone else's coattail. You
That's
can
right.
be part of or affiliated of an organization, right? And understand that this particular organization might be doing the work, and you just because you're doing yourself to that, you still are accountable for the work that you're supposed to be doing, right? This is a quick precept in Sirach chapter 43, and I'm going to start at verse 30. When ye glorify the Most High, right? This is Sirach 43 and 30 in the book of the,
Amen.
right? When ye glorify the Most High, exalt him as much as you can. For even yet will he far exceed, and when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength. And be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. Right? You can never go too far in this thing, man. It's always something that you can do on behalf of edifying and magnifying the ministry, and it's never going to be enough. It's never enough. And if you ever feel like that you have reached a point of complacency, and that you are saved in this thing, you got another thing coming, man.
That's right.
Right. So picking up in James chapter 1, right? Next precept.
I'm
James,
there. It's
go
the
ahead.
book of James, chapter 1 and verse 22. The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 22. I'll read through. I'm gonna read through 24, 25.
Come.
It says, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only,
Mm-hmm.
deceiving your own selves. You see that a lot of Israel is deceiving themselves by knowing they Israelites and thinking that's enough, right? By knowing what the Bible says, by knowing when the feast days are, by knowing what Shabbat is, but they not keeping the laws. You only deceiving yourself, right? For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer of the word, for if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was.
Mm-hmm.
But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed.
Right. Do the work, man. That's the point of this breakdown. That's the point of your reasonable service, as we brought out in Romans 12. That's the point of you waking up in the spiritual level, on the spiritual eyes, and looking at yourself in the mirror every day, and knowing that you're an Israelite, knowing that you're a prince and a princess of the power of the Most High God. This is your reasonable service. Look in the mirror, know that you got a job to do, and do it to the best of your ability. So when you leave the house, when you come back, you can see that person, you can see that brother or that sister in the mirror and say, "Yeah, I completed my task to the best of my
That's
ability."
right.
Because it's a horrible feeling knowing that you done slipped and fell in this thing, and you come back to the mirror and you don't even want to look at yourself, man. Like that. Or when someone says something, you had a window of opportunity to kind of prophesy, you didn't speak on it, and you get back to the house like, man, I think I should have said something. We gotta redeem the time, man. Redeem the time. Are you?
Right. It's the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11 on down. And that knowing that, Shalakia, and that knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the brother was alluding to, right? For now is our salvation nearer than we believe. Hey, it's fourth quarter. It's fourth quarter. It's 2 minutes on the clock. Right? Don't get carnal and telling like, oh, we got 2 years. No, bro. I'm referencing that the time is winding down. Right?
Brothers and brothers in here, sisters, well, we in the fifth seal right now, so I kind of got some time. And
Right.
stage, you kind of trying to count your lambs for your sacrifice, like they was doing in the age of old. I got a couple ewe lambs there, bullocks, got a couple turtle doves. I'm good. I'm gonna just kick back. Hey, man, the Most High is not dealing with that slackness, right? You got to come with the Most High with correctness, man. I yield.
The night, verse verse 12. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk honestly in the day, not in rioting, drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. But put ye on the Adawan Yahushai Hamashiach, and make not provisions for the flesh, like the brother was just alluding to, right? You know what I'm saying? Counting them turtle doves, counting them lambs, the rams. That it would be making provisions for the flesh. Hey, I got XYZ. This, hey, I really can cut up tonight because I'll make a sacrifice tomorrow, right? To fulfill the lust thereof.
Right. Next precept, Proverbs 19, right, and 15. Book of Proverbs 19 and 15. And it reads thus. Salaki. Proverbs 19 and verse 15. Salaki. And it reads, it says, slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. He that keepeth the commandments keepeth his own soul, but he that despiseth his ways shall die. Right? So you got to understand that the Lord he's commanding us, all men, to not be slothful, because if you do this thing, it's like being in a deep sleep, and you'll have an idle soul, man. And we understand that the word tells you, or that it's a worldly saying. It says the idle mind is the devil's playground, man. You can't be idle in this thing, right?
Con, the brother from the brother has a from HODC Salt Lake City had a something that he spoke on. He said, I don't know if it's related, but in the law, where is the line where we are in captivity and I believe he was referencing Matthew 5 and 25, and we are resisting the oppressor, saying like we have a job that has a uniform and you can't wear fringes. Should we accept that job and understand we are in captivity, or resist and pass the opportunity to take care of ourselves as men? Well, ultimately, you have to pray and ask the Most High to, according to Proverbs 16 and 9, a man, paraphrasing, a man devises his way, but the Most High orders his steps, right? Proverbs 20:24, a man's going is of the Lord, right? And ultimately, even if you have to wear a uniform, you can wear your fringes up under your uniform, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, I believe, I don't know what particular verse it is, but the Most High calls us to keep the laws of the land, as long as it doesn't break his laws, right? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, wear your uniform, but there's no law against wearing your fringes under your uniform, right? And if they vex you about your fringes, pray that the Most High delivers you out of that situation, right? That you find another job, or the heathen that's vexing you, the Most High might do away with them, or you might be able to file a proper paperwork to say that, well, this is a part of my culture or my heritage or my customs, and I'm by my beliefs I have to wear them, or whatever the case may be. But ultimately, you have to pray for discernment,
Mhm.
right? Pray for understanding, and pray that the Most High directs your steps to deal amongst the heathen, wise as a serpent but harmless as a dove, right? And
Con,
I
con,
deal with that answer. Not if you got something you can allude.
con. That was Matthew 10:16 that he just quoted through the Spirit. He sent you forth as sheep amongst wolves,
That's
right?
right.
And so, understanding that he also quoted, Sham just quoted Matthew 5:25. I'm gonna read that real quick, and I got one precept to kind of land me back. Lord willing, can give you some clarity on that. This is
Con.
Matthew 5:25. It says, "Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison." Right. And so, and to speak on that, like this is again, this he not gonna jam you up for pulling up at work, and you know what I'm saying, you wearing fringes, but at the same time, he is an authoritative figure over thee, or an overseer rather,
Mm-hmm.
right? According to the ways of this world. So we got to be in agreements with him. It says, be peaceable with all men. That's what the scriptures say too, as well. But in saying that, like the brother so eloquently spoken about wearing your fringes tucked in, I was in corporate America for the longest beginning when I came into this truth, and I was kind of gun shy about even rocking my fringes out openly. So at first, I started out, you know, with just having them on underneath my garments, and eventually I started getting built up and said, you know what, I'm just kind of let one kind of just let them hang in the front just a little bit, see what they say. And then essentially, man, after the time, man, I just let them drop, man. Let the fringes hang, man. Let them bang and swing, right? But you got, like the brother said, you got to pray and use wisdom. And with that, I'm gonna go to the next chapter in Matthew 6, and this is what it says. This is dealing with how the Most High, how Yahweh was telling us how to pray, right? But it's got some meat in here too as well. If you can get what we putting down here through the Spirit, I'm just gonna get straight to the meat. And it says, this is Matthew 6:5. Matthew 6:5. It says, "And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as a hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men."
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Yeah, we want to be able to wear our fringes so that we can be an example, a testimonial, if you will, so others may see what an Israelite looks like, right? But let's see what Yahushua said. It says, "Standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward." Right? But thou, when thou prayest, enter in thy closets, and when thou shut thy door, pray to the Father which is in secret, and when thy Father would see it in secret, shall reward thee openly. Right? The Most High knows your heart. He knows you want to be keeping these law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your abilities. And if Lord willing, you got to wear them things underneath your garments just so you can put bread on the table, according to Matthew 4:4. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by the word of God. You trying to have a balance in this thing. The Lord gonna reward you openly, King. So with that, I'm gonna yield on that topic. Lord willing, it was edifying.
Con. The brother said that he's not facing that particularly. He kind of alluded to some of the things that he's facing in the chat. Hey, brother, you have to use wisdom, right? It's the brother Amir from Salt Lake City. We love the brother dearly, of the House of David, right? We held camp with him, a unity camp. Beautiful brother, had a great spirit, right? But you got to use wisdom, King, right? And you know that we are in captivity, and he sent us as wolves, I mean, as sheep among the wolves, right? So
Uh-huh.
with that being said, we have to understand that, and Christ also said is righteous to do good on the Sabbath. So if you're trying to benefit, your house, I'm not sure if you have children or a wife, and you really trying to benefit your household and your family, hey, pray for mercy. Pray that the Most High understands your position, and you might be able to. They might call you and say they need to reschedule, but if not, do your due diligence. You're not going into work from what you just explained, right? You just going in to discuss matters, and this is the only time that they have available. Present yourself available, but present yourself right when you go to the interview. Hey, you might have your shirt tucked in with your fringes up on there. Pray before you go in. Pray when you come out, and leave it in the Most High hands. right? You know what I'm saying? Continue to do the work of the Lord. Don't get slack and slothful. Continue to put your best foot forward for the Father, and He will provide through the Spirit. He will provide everything else that you need.
Con. But that's an example too, man. The water arc for just sharing that testimonial too.
It could be a blessing and a test,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know what I'm saying? It could be both of those things, King. But you know, put yourself in a position to receive the blessing and pass the test. Do the best thing that you can, the best thing that you can to be on good accord with the Most High and not missing your opportunity that He may have provided for you, right? I'm not saying be double-minded, but do your best to don't shake off the opportunity, but make sure that you are in um, um, good favor with the Father when you're doing what you're doing, right? You know what I'm saying? I pray that the edifying King, again, I don't have all the answers. The final thing I would say would be the nail in the coffin would be to pray for discernment on the matter, pray for a clear answer, and pray that the Most High shows you what He wants you to do in this circumstance and situation. And I pray that He gives you a clear answer and that you're able to move forward with this situation with a clear mind and a sound heart, right? Barakatah.
Con. All praise to the Most High, right? So, but that's an example of a brother wanting to continue to do the work, regardless of the circumstances or the tribulation that may befall him, right? And that's a zeal, and all praise to the Most High. We're gonna bring out a couple more precepts. This might definitely have to be a part two. Uh, the
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
We're gonna keep it rolling. Do the work, family. Do the work. We're gonna pick up
No
in
excuses.
What's up,
I'm
Bob?
already there.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 13. Love not sleep.
Hmm.
And this could be physical, spiritual, right? You can't be spiritually sleep out here. You have to be awakened and understand the times that we're in. It says, love not sleep, lest thou come to poverty, right? Just like kind of what the brother was alluding to, the Most High could be presenting you this opportunity. Don't fall asleep at the wheel, right? You know what I'm saying? Make sure you seize the opportunity, but do it as lawfully as you can because we are in captivity. Keep it moving. Open thine eyes, and thou shalt be satisfied with bread. Right? You got it.
Kind, yeah. When you really open your eyes and see that you can be satisfied, with little, and that bread is talking about the word. When you really open your eyes, you can understand that. Look, this this is this is a mighty work that He's calling me to do. But this is what's going to keep bread on my table, man. This is what's going to keep substance, keep my belly full at the end of the day. It's going to allow me to continue to strive for righteousness, right? And that's what this is about: striving, being able to go through the adversities, right? Going against the grain, right? You can't go to, it's too hard today. I'm just gonna go ahead and lie back down and go to sleep, right? You're gonna wake up and it's still gonna be the same thing.
That's right.
So you gotta gird up your loins, man. It says that, what's that? Job 38:3, right? You gotta gird up your loins. You got some more on that, Aqua. We're gonna get to the next one.
That's it. My next precept. This is Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll read through 11. Proverbs 6 and 6 through 11.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise.
Right, the ant even goods down, and they got a mighty work when they come together collectively. And that's again to man, every scripture is pivotal, man. When it's talking about an ant, he's talking about a lot of different sluggards, right? Imagine, like we was talking about, might have a small work, but all the ants have a small work, but together collectively, they
Mighty.
they move in weight, man. They move in mountains, molehills, right? That's what you can do through the spirit. When you just do what you're supposed to be doing. Do
That's
your
right.
part. Read on.
It says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Again,
Mhm.
Akai, this Proverbs 6 and 6 through 11. Consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer,
Mm.
and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep.
Right. Let me just give me 5 more minutes. Hit the snooze button then 10 times. Now you late for work. Right. Now you don't miss the opportunity that you could have ceased. Right. You can either miss or you can miss out. Right. I'm gonna yield on that.
So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man.
Mm.
Keeping it moving through the spirit. The next precept is Ecclesiastes 4 and 5. Ecclesiastes 4 and 5. And it reads, again, Ecclesiastes 4 and 5. It says, the fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. You got it, all right?
Right. Fool, he gonna fold his hands and he gonna try to do what he can do in his own might, right? To resolve his situation when the Lord has already given you provisions.
That's right.
He's already given you an example on how to overcome these obstacles. You just got to open up the book and read and apply it. Apply application is key. But what is application? It's work.
Con, I teach, I.
It's work. You got to really drag yourself out of the bed, right? Sit down in that chair, open up the word of the most high and pray for discernment and then really get in here and try to find the things that can strengthen you for the day, man.
That's right.
This takes work. But when you look at you like, man, and then at the end of the day, you can be like, man, I needed that precept. That precept really held me down today, man. All praises to the most high. Right? It's you got that precept can work for you. You got to put the Bible to work, man. You got to put these things into work. It's not so much you doing the works, but you got to believe, man. It's faith, it's action, man. You really have to understand that this life is going to throw you curveballs, man. It's going to throw you uh stumbling blocks, hurdles, right? It's going to take work to get around and over and underneath those things.
That's right.
I yield. All right.
Con, eloquently spoken, King. This is the next precept is going to be Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 30. Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 30. 30 through 32. Proverbs 24:30. Actually, I'll stop at 34. It says, I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? The slothful man is void of understanding. You're not doing the work of the Lord, bro. You're not going to have a full understanding, right? You're going to have your vain opinion. You're going to have what you think the Lord is saying, but that does not make it. Why would the Most High reveal a deeper understanding to somebody that's not doing the work? Why would he do that? So when you during the work of the Lord or doing the work of the Lord, he's going to open up your mind and give you revelations and have you understand the word a little deeper than the next man that's not tilling the ground. When you tilling the ground, man, your fruit's going to come back more juicy, right? More plump. But when you just throw the seed out there, hey man, you ain't even that thing might not even sprout, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I will finish this out, man. Verse 30. I went by the field of the slothful and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns and nettles, and had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down,
Right? You done went by this brother like, man, who live here, man? Who vineyard is this? This brother
Con,
out here in years. Grass is 7 foot tall, right? Weeds everywhere. This brother ain't been doing no work, man.
con.
Right? Go ahead, Art.
And that might not look, you got to think about it, bro. That might look like no spiritual fruits. You're
Mm-hmm.
not in the spirit at all. You don't have any type of understanding. You're not moving in any sound doctrine, any wisdom, right? And you're moving according to the ways of the world, right? You gotta take the veil off your eyes.
Brother be like, it's green, but it's all out of hand, man. It's
Yeah, it's
green.
green, but it's artificial turf, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be green through all seasons,
Right.
right? Verse 32, it says, Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and the want as an armed man.
Right. That poverty gonna hit you like a labor pain, man. Oh man, what happened here? You ain't gonna know what happened. What hit you? Right? Because you never been one to fight through adversity or do the work.
That's
Right.
right.
Gonna keep it rolling.
You got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and 18. Right.
Hold on.
Ecclesiastes.
One. I got Proverbs 13 and 4.
Go ahead.
It says, The soul of the sluggard desired. Proverbs 13 and 4. The book of Proverbs 13 and 4. The soul of the sluggard desireth and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. Right? And it's another precept that says, I'm paraphrasing, it says that the most high shows not his will not have the children of the most high will not be a beggar of bread, but one that keepeth the commandments. I gotta find that through spirit right quick.
Okay. Right, but if you just joining, man, we about to bring this thing to a close. But we understand that you cannot. Is no time. At no point in time should you be complacent in your walk. You should feel that you've done all that you can do on this side. You gotta continue to work and store up your spiritual treasures in heaven on this side, so other brothers may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Right? Your good. What is your good works? Right? Being your brother's keeper, man. Let brotherly love continue. Right? Speaking up on matters when you have the opportunity to speak on these things, being able to edify, understanding that you have a small piece that you have been given, but using it, whatever you've been given, to magnify the Lord. Right? I yield out.
Khan, this is the precept I was referencing. This is Psalms 37 and 25. I'm gonna start at 23. It says, The steps of a good man, Psalms 37 and 23, and I read through 26. Salak, I read through 28. Salak, I read through 29. Psalms 37 and 23 through 29. And it reads, The steps of, you got it, Nasir. The steps of a good man are ordered by Yahweh, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down.
Mm-hmm.
So we are gonna go through hard times. These situations are gonna prevent themselves. Hell, we are in captivity, right? It's not supposed to. Everything is not supposed to be good here. Otherwise, what will be the point of captivity, right? The Most High still wants you to choose Him, even amongst your captivity, right? Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down. For the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. I have been young, and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Right? He is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. that are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and
Mm-hmm.
dwell therein forever.
All praises, man. Hallelujah. Right. So you want to be on the righteous aspect of things, man, so that you can inherit this kingdom of heaven. But it comes with work. It comes with provisions, right? We're gonna keep it rolling. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 18. Ecclesiastes 10 and 18. It says, by much slothfulness, the Salakia, by much slothfulness, the building decayed, right? And through idleness of the hands, the house droppeth through, right? If you don't spring clean, right? If you don't keep up your house, right? And that's on a spiritual level too, talking about your temple. If you're not doing the best you can do to your best of your abilities to make sure that your temple is clean and presentable for the Most High when He returns, it's gonna be filthy, right? We say all the time, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That's
You got
right.
got to be able to get up and do and have a routine in this walk. You just can't just go about this and fly by the seat of your pants. It's not gonna work. You got to have a diet when it comes to the word of the Most High, right? I yield.
Fine. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, and verse 9. Let love be without dissimulation. Again, Romans 12 and 9 through 13. Romans 12 and 9 through 13. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Be kindly and affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Adawan, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation.
Right? The brother say, he say, are you gonna stand on business?
Kind.
Don't stand, don't be slothful in business, man. This is a business. This is big business. This is the Father's business.
Right.
Right? So we got to be able to stand on this thing, man. And brothers got to be able to rely and depend on you, right, to uphold and do your part in this thing. As well, you would want to rely on them, right?
Mhm.
Are you
Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality. Bless them which persecute you, bless and curse not. Rejoice
right?
with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that do weep.
Right. Even hospitality is work, right? Even being showing love where you feel like you should be showing, that's a work, man. Go ahead.
It says, be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceit. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
All right.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord.
Come on, all praises. Right. So we're gonna keep it rolling. Sirach 27 and 1 through 3. Sirach 27, 1 through 3. I'm gonna read it. It says, many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. Right. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doeth sin stick close between buying and selling. Unless a man hold himself diligent, so like if a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown. Right? You got to understand that, the Lord is dealing with. Being a king, man, requires a lot of work. You got to put a lot of orders out there. You got to put delegate a lot of things to servants who are subservient to you. Um, Even on a maternal level, dealing with the children, the mother, she's got things and duties that she has to do too. It takes a lot of work, man, with these labels and these titles that the Lord has and the positions that He's placed us in.
Con.
Right. So that's all right. 27:1 through 3.
The next precept is Deuteronomy 4, and I'm going to start at 5 and read through 9. Deuteronomy 4 and 4 through 9. And it reads, but ye that did Salakia, I'm going to start at 5. Deuteronomy 4 and 5 through 9. Deuteronomy 4 and 5 through 9. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Adawan Yahweh commanded me that you should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all the statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Right? The Most High gave you this understanding, gave you this charge, gave us this lot to fulfill, and He didn't give it to nobody else. We should understand that was a major responsibility, and to whom much is given, much is required. Make the sacrifice, do the work. Point blank, right? Verse 7. For what nation is there so great, who hath Yahweh so nigh unto them? As the Adawan, our power is in all things that we call upon him for. And what nation is there so great, that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest thou depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Ken. You
Right.
got it.
So you just got to be diligent in this thing and understand that. And I was going to say this at the end of the lesson, but the Lord don't need you, man. He don't need us.
That's right.
Right. He don't need us. You have been selected, right, to do a work in this thing. He can raise somebody else up in your stead if he wanted to. Right. He can bring somebody else up to do the work. He can give someone else this understanding, these breakdowns, right, the revelations, if you will, and he can have them do the work. He don't need you, man. So don't sit being so prideful in this thing and just think that, yeah, if it wasn't for me, then this brother I told this brother about the truth. You can get kind of caught up in that thing, man. On vainglory. Yeah, you supposed to be. It's when someone says, "Hey, you did something through the Spirit." Hey, all praise to the Most High, man. That's who did it. All praises to the Most High. He just gave me the strength and the ability and the know-how to put forth and apply what He has given me. I'm just a vessel,
That's right.
and that's what this is about. You can, but on the left hand side, yeah, I tried to tell the brother, you know what I'm saying, and yeah, I tried to tell the sister, but she don't. You can kind of get caught up in that, and you don't. That's a bad um perception to have when it comes to doing the service of the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is not your understanding that you get.
That's right.
This is the Lord gave you this understanding to give. As it says in the scriptures, these men made the sense of the scriptures,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I yield on that,
Con. You got that
right?
Ecclesiastes.
This is Ecclesiastes, right? Chapter 3 and verse 1, right? Ecclesiastes 3 and 1, and it reads, it says, to everything there is a season,
Mm-hmm.
time to every purpose under the heaven.
Mm-hmm.
A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck down, a time to pluck up. That's planted. It's a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast stones, so like you cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. And that's a spiritual understanding right there. When you all of this is spiritual, but it's talking about these stones, it's talking about the children of Israel. It's a time that we have been scattered abroad and we have been casted away, but now it's time to gather, right? That's the work. We got to start gathering ourselves together. And it continues on, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from bracing, from embracing, a time to get, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to rend, and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak. Right? The work requires you to say something, man. The work
Con,
is require you to rebuke some things. It's gonna require you to reprove some situations. That's what the work. That's what the work is. Are you
you were saying something about some stones.
con?
Con, through the spirit, the brother Amir referenced the precept. I'm gonna pull it right. This is Matthew 3 and verse 9. And you was kind of alluding to this too, that the Most High don't need us. It says, and think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you that Yahweh is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Therefore, every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit, is hewn down and cast into the fire. So, like the brother was saying, the Most High don't need you. He can replenish, right? You know what I'm saying? He's not. Yes, you've been born to be children and prophets, the service of the Most High, right? But the Most High can bug you out or use you for whatever He's using you for. Use you to tell somebody else they're Israelite, bug you out, and then raise that brother up that you informed was an Israelite, right? The Most High is not. He's not. He's not slack of souls, right? He's
Con,
not slack with vessels, right? He can use whoever he wants to build his mountain, right? You know what I'm saying? So be humble in this walk and have this understanding deep within your heart that the Most High don't need you. We need Him with every fiber of our being, right?
con. But that was Ecclesiastes 3 and 1 through 9, right? We made it. I thought it was going to be a two-part breakdown, but through the spirit, we pushed through,
We got
right?
like two more, all right?
Con, that's what I was saying. All praise,
But the spirit got the moving.
con, man. And,
So,
we really got like the scriptures is so, it's a weighty matters, man. These topics, me and Ak, we kind of sit down, hey, what you got for today? We kind of think about what's going on amongst Israel, right? That we can kind of speak on, not just to things that we see, but like things that we experience too in our lives, so that we can get some spirit. When we doing these classes, hey, we feeding ourselves too as well through the spirit.
all right,
Not feeding the flock and giving them something that we need. This is a
we
million.
are the flock.
Uh,
We are the flock. You know what I'm
good.
saying? It's we
Scriptures.
we eat this spiritual bread too.
It said, do you not learn and teach at the same time, or teach and learn at the same time? Right. So a lot of these things, man, is resonating with our spirit too as well. So that's why we kind of hold fast to them and kind of draw them out, because it's all revelations. These things that come unfolding before us as we doing the classes live right now. But we're
All
gonna
right.
keep rolling. Exodus 34 and 8.
Now I got the Matthew 25. I'm gonna read that first,
Oh,
and
I
then you
jumped
can
all the
finish.
way. Go ahead.
It's the book of Matthew 25. I'm gonna read 1 through 13. Matthew 25, 1 through 13. The book of Matthew, chapter 25, 1 through 13. It says, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, who took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
Mm-hmm.
And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
Mm-hmm.
But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept, right? Sleep at the wheel, right? No oil, no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding. And you got the nerve to be asleep. You're not
Right.
on fire. Your lamp not lit, right? Second Edges 14:25 says, come hither and I will light a candle of understanding in you. Your candle is not lit and you're asleep. You're nowhere near the precepts. You're nowhere near a breakdown. You refuse to go to camp and you're not on fire. Verse 6. At midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. Hey man, remember when you were saying that we're gonna have to, what was that precept? You remember you did a breakdown on, but the wise answered and said, not so.
Mm-hmm.
La lest there be not enough for us and you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves.
Right, because that you had an opportunity, man. You didn't make haste. You wanted to just a little folding of the hands, just as a slugger, he's gonna go in his bed as a door of a hinge, right?
Hey,
That was the choices that you made, but now you want to lean on brothers who was holding fast to this thing, who had their lamps. You know how long how in this parable, right? What it looks like, walking around toting the lamps every day, waiting for the Lord to come back. When the other ones who didn't have, they just should look at their brother with their lamp, right? And
right.
it's just waiting every day. But you know he coming. I just gotta keep this thing tough. I know he coming. It takes work, man. Toting this thing. This thing is heavy. It's a burden, man. You gotta bear your burdens every day, and you gotta put this thing on. But then when he comes, hey, you can say, man, I knew this wasn't in vain. Look, you oil, but I got all, look at this oil. Boy, I got oil for day. I got oil my scalp with this thing. Boy, I
Right.
got oil. Right? So you gotta
And
understand.
you sleep. You over here. You should have enough rest to go figure it out on your own, brother. You should be stored up with, you should have all the energy to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Finishing this out. Verse 10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, At a one, open to us. But he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
Right. And it's just like I liken this to you get picked for dodgeball. You know what I'm saying? Or pickup games. When you hooping things of that nature, just on a secular level, right? And you kind of, I can see the Most High looking amongst the roster, like, yeah, that brother, he be getting buckets. Yeah, that brother, oh yeah, I like him right there. That boy, he can really move. This is how the Lord is gonna. That's what your works are. He looking down upon you. Is like, nah, this brother, he don't know. He don't got no crossover. He don't know how to hit Satan with the sham god.
Damn
He don't
God.
know. He don't got no moves, man.
Pun intended, man.
Right?
Done.
He don't got no moves. I can't use him, man. He can't use my team. And that's how the Lord moves, man. You gotta put forth some work that sets you apart in this thing. It's a lot of brothers trying to run this race and trying to get into the kingdom. What makes you set apart from the next brother? What makes you set apart from the other sisters in Israel that makes the Lord look upon your work and say, I gotta have her.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta ask yourself these things, man. And if you can't have it, you don't have an answer. Hey, you gotta
You got
say,
problems.
13:05.
You better go find you some oil.
Come. Right? But go ahead. I see the brother had posted something. Hey, the night is too far spent, man. Like the brother said earlier, Sham said, um, hey, it's 11:59, it's the fourth quarter, man. Right? Time is ticking. Con. Right? Proverbs 6:24. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is a light, and the reproof of instruction are the way of life.
The brother was referencing, that's why I said at midnight, because the day is far spent and it's night, and that is going to be dark, right? And it's getting darker each day. What the brother was referencing. It's a beautiful point, right? We know that here in the captivity in Babylon the Great, it's getting darker and darker each day. If you don't have this light, if you don't have this lamp, you are doomed to fall and maybe even fall asleep in the darkness, right?
But you know, and this is big if you can get this, because why does he reference a lamp and he's talking about night and day? Look, they didn't have solar panels, light switches, electricity. When it was dark, it's a
It
wrap.
was dark,
It's
right?
dark.
If you ain't have a fire, no fire in you, no lamp lit, no oil, you was doomed.
So what does that mean? That means that during the day, brothers and sisters was getting it in. They
Mm-hmm.
was handling all manner of business that they could during the day, because that night come, hey, we gotta shut down shop, right? All creeping things kind of start coming through at nighttime. Hey, you can't be out here like that. So we gotta understand during the day, you gotta do the work, man.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
What you got?
grab that last one.
Con. I'm gonna jump down to Exodus 34 and 8. Right? Exodus 34 and verse 8. Let's deal with Moses, right? And an account on how he made haste through the spirit. And this Exodus 34 and 8. I'm gonna start at yeah, I'm gonna start at 8. It says, and Moses made haste and bowed his head towards the earth and worshiped the most high.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta make haste in this thing. It's we understand that the time is ticking, the night is far spent. We gotta make haste, bow down, be subservient to the Most High God, and do the work. Right. Last precept in Baruch 5:28. Baruch chapter 5 and verse 28. Salakia, classic.
4:28.
4:28. The water. Baruch 4:28, and it reads, for as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek Him 10 times more. We say this all the time. A lot of when prior to coming into this truth, we used to sin real good in this thing. We kept a lot of energy stored up just for wickedness, and our feet were swift to go and sow mischief. But now we on the right side of things in righteousness, knowing that we are Israelites, servants of the Most High, princes, daughters of Zion. We got to seek Him 10 times more. Keep that same energy. Whatever energy you was applying in the world and you coming into this truth now, you got to put forth that same energy for the Most High.
Huh.
Right? That's what He want to see, because He can see, look, I done jammed him up a couple times and he still had a lot of energy. Now he coming to the truth. Now the brother don't want to do. Nah, bruh. That's how the Lord look at this, man. So seek Him 10 times more, right? Understanding what you have been given, even if you feel that it is a little, it's a lot, and the Most High has allotted that to you, pun intended, to.
Like the brother tapped out. Oh, there he is.
Salaki. But yeah, I yield with that, I yield.
Con. Hey, look, man, it's high times, man. When the fourth quarter, right? And we're trying to make the hall of faith, right? Keep the commandments and live, right? Do the work of the Father. Don't be lackadaisical, right? Don't fumble the ball. Get in the game, get your head in the game, and do the work for the Lord, right? With that being said, we want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, We do so in the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of the house of David. Mighty Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to the Kadashium scattered throughout the four corners. I'm Brother Shemariah.
Come, Brother Nasi.
Khan, we are SUC. And with that, we bid you shalom.
Come, Shalom, Shalom, Israel.